War does not determine who is right, only who is left. Older men declare war. But it is the youth that must fight and die. War is an ugly thing, but not the ugliest of things. The decayed and degraded state of moral and patriotic feeling which thinks that nothing is worth war is much worse. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. War is a racket. It is the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which the profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. The war of words, not of guns, will be the decisive battle. The direct use of force is such a poor solution to any problem. It is generally employed only by small children and large nations. The only good thing about modern war is that it takes people who might otherwise die of boredom. A soldier will fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon. Wars may be fought with weapons, but they are won by men. It is the spirit of the men who follow and of the man who leads that gains the victory. War is a cowardly escape from the problems of peace. War does not determine who is right, only who is left. The only victor in a war is the one who suffers the least. War is the greatest plague that can afflict humanity. It destroys religion, it destroys states, it destroys families. War is an instrument entirely inefficient toward redressing wrong, and multiplies, instead of indemnifying losses. If everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. War is the refuge of political mediocrities. War is not an adventure. It is a disease. It is like typhus. Peace is not an absence of war, it is a virtue, a state of mind, a disposition for benevolence, confidence, justice. In war, the way is to avoid what is strong and strike at what is weak. War may sometimes be a necessary evil. But no matter how necessary, it is always an evil, never a good. We will not learn how to live together in peace by killing each other's children. The highest patriotism is not a blind acceptance of official policy, but a love of one's country deep enough to call her to a higher plane. War is an ugly thing, but not the ugliest of things. The decayed and degraded state of moral and patriotic feeling which thinks that nothing is worth war is much worse. Mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. War does not determine who is right, only who is left. Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived. The soldier above all others prays for peace, for it is the soldier who must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war. In war, there are no unwounded soldiers. The soldier is the army. No army is better than its soldiers. The soldier is also a citizen. In fact, the highest obligation and privilege of citizenship is that of bearing arms for one's country. The soldier is the army's heartbeat. A hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. The greatest honor history can bestow is the title of peacemaker. Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened. A true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. Valor is the courage of the conscious heart, not a blind rush into the dark. To be a soldier is to learn the meaning of courage and the value of character. The heart of man is very much like the sea, it has its storms, it has its tides, and in its depths it has its pearls to, if you want peace, prepare for war. The only victor in a war is he who has become most deeply acquainted with suffering. War is the father of all things. In war, truth is the first casualty. War is the science of destruction. War is a series of catastrophes which results in a victory. Wars are not won by evacuations. War is an instrument entirely inefficient toward redressing wrong, and multiplies, instead of indemnifying losses. War is a game that is played with a smile. If you can't smile, grin. If you can't grin, keep out of the way till you can. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Peter de Vries: in war, resolution; in defeat, defiance; in victory, magnanimity. It is not enough to win a war, it is more important to organize the peace. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Wars may be fought with weapons, but they are won by men. History teaches us that men and nations behave wisely once they have exhausted all other alternatives. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory however long and hard the road may be, for without victory there is no survival. You can no more win a war than you can win an earthquake. War is a game that is played with a smile. If you can't smile, grin. If you can't grin, keep out of the way till you can. In war, the physical and moral effects of a near victory are often as disastrous as those of a definite defeat. The courage of a soldier is heightened by his knowledge of his reliance on the support of his comrades. War is an ugly thing, but not the ugliest of things. The decayed and degraded state of moral and patriotic feeling which thinks that nothing is worth war is much worse. The only thing more expensive than education is ignorance. A good plan violently executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week. The art of war is simple enough. Find out where your enemy is. Get at him as soon as you can. Strike him as hard as you can, and keep moving.